I mean, let's look at it this way. What to you, and just to get your guys' opinion, because what do you find to be an actual phobia?
Um,
Like Mr. Duggar, let's start with there. We'll go U, LW, and TF. What do you find to be an actual phobia?
Brussels sprouts, they make you sick. No, I'm scared. No, actual phobia. Um, I don't know, man. I mean, stereotype people that stereotype different people, uh it's like we're made the white person now, so made like we're the bad guys no matter just because we're white, and there's actual people that are been led by a narrative somehow that can change the way they feel about being next to a white person, or a white person that has a phobia to be around a black person, like you would a spider or something, like a fight. Being scared of spiders, that's probably the mainest phobia in the whole world, because I can understand that. I can see spiders, but they give you the heebie-jeebies, and the heebie-jeebies is a phobia. You know what I'm saying? So
I really thought you were going to say being abducted by aliens, but okay.
no, I am an alien, so
Okay. No, like, good job, Mr. Duggar.
that's my
I mean,
job.
phobia is like being afraid of fly and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
TF?
Well, I mean, yeah, phobia is, being scared of something. Like I don't like to I hate going up on ladders, 30 feet in the air. I don't like that. I don't like standing on the edge of a cliff and looking down. I don't like standing on a
Ugh.
roof. Yeah, I don't mind being in an airplane looking down, but yeah, a phobia is, by definition, a the fear of something.
Yeah,
Yes, and that's the whole point of that's the basis of why this is such a kind of an interesting and just kind of bizarre topic, because that's what the dictionary says. Literally, a fear is an extreme or irrational fear of, or it does say aversion to something, but you look at that, and even their definition, it says their example says he had a phobia about being underwater, basically about drowning. So that's the point. It's being afraid of something: spiders, snakes, open heights, like what you were saying, travel pools, open heights, like a falling maybe, or just I don't like that flying, fine, but open heights like that. Those are actual, relatively, I mean, I would say rational fears.
absolutely. He named a bunch of stuff I don't like, and I mean, heights is probably one of my worst. You can get all dizzy up high on a ledge. Ledges scare me. I don't know why, but they do also. But to be scared to overcome a fear um, is always a blessing. There's a lot of people that won't fly because they're scared to fly, but when they do fly, they become avid flyers. So
Right.
I don't know,
So
but
that's all.
I don't
That's all
have it.
traveling fools. That's all traveling fools needs is one date with Lizzo, and his phobia is gone.
Oh no, I think I'd have a lot more phobias after that.
Well, once again, I appreciate the segue into the first of the phobias, which is the new obsession. Well, I don't know if it's an obsession or just something. Is the apparent fat phobic? Yes, that is a legitimate thing. If any of anyone here has not heard about it until I put that in our little discussion plan, fat phobia is apparently a thing.
That's because
Which,
we eat people with fat phobias.
well, and I'll give a general description too, and I'll show you something which is kind of funny. So, fat phobia is basically like you don't want to date, say, a heavy set person, you're fat phobic. Anything that doesn't totally be I say accepting again, quote unquote, accepting or compromises for them, a very large person, that is fat phobic. And that brings me to this, which I'm sure Mr. Duggar, especially, I think he'll enjoy this the most.
Wait, were you saying I'm fat?
Mr. Duggar, I never said that.
You haven't heard? Yeah, he did. He might as well said it. He's calling me fat, wouldn't he? Fools, he's calling me fat, wouldn't he?
Mr. Duggar, you are called Husky.
No, I'm fat. I am the handsome fat man. I'm going.
Don't worry, Mr. Duggar. I'm sure there's a few more phobias on this list.
That's cool. That's cool. That keeps all the strange people away from me. I hope they have a fat man phobia, because they got them kind of phobias. They're kind of strange anyway, and maybe they'll stay away from me.
Well, Mr. Duggar, you might enjoy this. This is the whole point. This is the other thing. Besides just not wanting to date a larger person or a fat person, whatever, and that becomes a phobia, is, again, like I said, also not being quote unquote inclusive enough to accommodate them and expecting you to accommodate them no matter what. And this is what I find so funny. Don't get excited, Mr. Duggar.
First time I flew, I was about 12 years old, but I remember actually not fitting in the seat. I didn't want to have to use the bathroom while I was on a flight, because they are really not very comfortable traveling as a plus size person. There's a lot of people anxiety. This is a great question. And as much as I've talked about buying 2 seats with a plus size traveler who wears a size 6X, I've never given you the real tea on how comfortable it is to sit in 2 seats. So let me break it down for you in this video. I wear a size 6X, and so does my partner. When we travel, we sit together in a row of 3. So our situation might be a little bit different than yours. Even though we get a row of 3 seats, I take up much more room than my partner does. And so we share the middle seat. So I'm taking up like 1.5 seats. They're taking up just usually 1. When we get 3 seats and we sit together, there is enough room for us to both sit comfortably, but it's a little bit of a tight squeeze. And the thing that I find the hardest is the lack of legroom. While 2 seats in economy is enough for me to fly comfortably, of course, I wish that I had a little bit more room, especially when it comes to legroom. All in all, I will say if you're size 6X like me or smaller, you will be able to travel comfortably in 2 economy seats.
All right, guys.
So, one shout out here to Black Conservative Perspective. That's just part of what she was talking about. That guy,
can we all just agree that bitch needs a goddamn cargo plane?
Well, yeah. That's the whole part too. Is there's another photo. So she's saying,
hey, fat people got feelings.
C-130.
But she's saying, the whole point is also she started a petition to get the FAA to look into redesigning planes to accommodate larger people, which I think any common sense person would know how expensive that would be to redesign planes for purposes, or basically give people free seats for that, and then charge other people more. So they're forcing this. And what's funny is later in that video, again, Black Conservative Perspective, great job there. Do check out his material; it's great stuff. There's a photo of her on the plane, and again, she just said, I take up more space than her boyfriend, who's the same size, because she has a fucking oxygen little machine on her hip in the plane, like breathing tubes and all. And I'm like, so to get from security to your plane, you have to have there are some serious fucking problems, more than just you not having the most comfortable flight, or having to buy 2 seats. There are some other problems.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt her to have to walk where she's going.
And she probably doesn't. She probably even doesn't do that. She probably is one of those ones who gets, on those fucking trolley carts that go around and be like, excuse me, get out of the way, get out of the way.
I'm like Ron White on this one. I mean, when you're that big, why don't you just stay home and go for the record? I mean, you're all right. I mean, you're at 6X. You go on for that 7, 8X. Or 10X.
That's
you're the one who has to get cut out of your own house by the fire department.
I'm a fat man, but I'm still, But I'm not. I'm not. I'm not that. I'm not rotunda. I mean, that is just one step away from T-Rex. You know what I'm saying? I mean, geez. I feel,
Yeah.
God bless her. Bless her. I'm from South Texas, so I got to say, bless her little heart, though. Mr. Duggar does love everybody, and I hate to see somebody made fun of because they're heavy. I hate it when people make fun of people just because they have it. They might have a problem with a thyroid or something that causes that kind of stuff, and it can blow up a person.
But that's beyond a thyroid problem. I mean, a
Yeah, that's
thyroid problem
cheesecake.
can make
That
you
shit's
overweight.
cheesecake with extra chocolate syrup every day. I mean, you just got to eat 3 or 4 cheesecakes a day to get that big. I mean,
She
Jesus.
got that shit intravenously pumping into her body.
Well, yeah,
Pizza pumping in the
I'm
rain.
not in any shape like I used to be anymore these days. I mean, so if I go up fucking like 15, 20 flights of stairs, I might be going, okay, but I'm not fucking needing an oxygen fucking tank on my side, from getting strolled around the airport or needing two seats on a fucking plane.
By the way, the comments made by the panel tonight are all fiction and made for entertainment only and for laughs. If you take it serious, then you're out of line yourself. Nothing we say should be taken as facts or be used to start a life of obesity. Thank you.
Yeah, see, I forgot to put that before my intro saying we have nothing against anyone who's heavy set, nor are we making fun of them. I meant to put that as a disclaimer before the segment, and I forgot.
Well,
Thank you, Mr. Duggar. Thank you, Mr. Duggar.
Because I'm like the pot calling the kettle black when it comes to talking about a fat person. You know what I mean? But when I look at somebody like that, even I say, "Damn!" I see where what's that old boy Fluffy? He be saying, "There's damn."
I wonder if cellulite would be into that.
There's a lot of cellulite there.
No, our buddy cellulite.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I wonder if he'd be into that.
He'd be all frothed at the mouth right now. I'm telling you, that's his kind of girl right there. He just crawl up in that fat fold.
Jesus Christ. Well, again, which to the audience and the YouTube gods, that is perfectly fine. That is a person's personal choice. But as to having to conform all of society, that's where we're getting. But apparently, if you're against that or don't believe in doing that or having to pay extra to accommodate these types of individuals, you are fat phobic. You are fully shaming them when no one actually is. They just feel like they need basically free shit, which is literally something she said in articles later going, I know it's going to cost some extra money. Where that money will come from, I don't know. But others might just have to eat the bill, basically. It's like, there you go. You want free shit for your personal choices. That's the whole point.
Girl reaching for her angle. You gotta respect the game enters. If I can get somebody to pay for something of mine, I'm happy too. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of that, and I was always raised independent. I took care of myself. Everybody needs to grow up, and if they're an adult, hey, hello, life. Life happens. I mean, I don't know about people that want to sit out with signs and beg for money instead of going to work for it. I don't understand that. I see some that you can look at and say, "Oh my God, give that guy $5. See, he needs it." People are different, man. People are different, and
yeah, that woman for sure. There's no excuse for being that big. And frankly, if I got onto an airplane and was stuck sitting next to her, I would be raising hell.
Well, that I believe that's why they said they sit together, but they take 3 seats. But then she has the tank, so she takes up more space. That I believe is the same woman who put TikToks out about her not being able to fit in the aisle, like walk down the aisle, because she was literally just getting stuck in the seats, like by not like a little bit, but like each other seat on each side of the aisle had like 5 inches, and I'm
I mean,
like,
that's like saying they should start making, a Mazda Miata the size of a damn school bus, just for
Right.
her. It's like
well,
that.
and I
No,
think
I'm sorry, you don't fit.
that's why they have to pay for 2 seats. Which I mean, you think more so they probably pay for more because this is why they weigh luggage when you get there, your check luggage, because the plane is going to burn more fuel.
Have you ever watched King Kong when they put him in that cage and put him in that that big C-130 or whatever and toted his ass back across? I mean, that's basically what she needs.
Well, there was a great. I think I screwed it up. There was a clip in there too where New Zealand. I don't know if it was in New Zealand Air or in New Zealand. They were actually implementing weighing passengers when they got to the airport and considering charging people by their weight. Now that would probably never ever pass here. There'd be so much outcry, but I get the idea because, like, well, if you weigh less, you're not costing as much fuel as someone who's like her, you know. So
So if you're actually in shape, you shouldn't have to pay for your checked luggage then.
Yeah, I call bullshit shenanigans.
I don't know. It was an
they
interesting.
kiss my ass. I'm out.
Well, I'll say it. The only thing that person should feel is embarrassment. The fact that they feel entitlement and wronged,
Exactly.
it just speaks to the country of selfishness. There's a reason they weigh 500 pounds. Selfishness.
I'm a big
Well,
guy, but I pay for my own. You know what I mean? I don't. Nobody owes me anything. This life owes me what I made out of it, not me being a burden on somebody that don't even know who the hell I am. You know what I'm saying? I've earned everything I've got. So and people that are doers and worked all their life or get up and go to work every day, you got to appreciate them people. But to have somebody that's living probably on welfare and wanting to cry because they feel like they're not getting all the rights they need to be. Where in the Constitution does it say I got to build you a freaking seat on an airplane? If it ain't in the Constitution, fuck off.
Oh, and that's the part. It's not just her. There's a huge following. I mean, apparently she makes money off just doing that type of stuff on TikTok. So there's a big following. That's why I said she pushed for this FAA reg change, or look into how they can change it. And that petition itself has actually apparently gone popular. And I'm like, who are these people that are supporting this? It's all about handouts because that's what it says. Like, oh, other people are going to just have to pay for this shit for us.
Well,
Again, she's already
illegals
wearing
are
that
getting them
she's
some
already
free
wearing an
money.
oxygen mask.
I mean, I'd probably pay $1 to feed her peanuts at the petting zoo or something.
Have a banana.
Fucking-
Slice of pizza. Do you think she could eat this whole lasagna? Just have school. Like the school could have days that your parent makes a meal for the fat person. You know what I mean? I don't know. Y'all go to the zoo and feed her tacos.
Well, I think one of the key issues with this is, again, she's saying, okay, I want other people to compensate for the seat I'm paying for because I can't fit in a normal seat, which almost everyone else says. I mean, everyone here is sat in a seat next to someone, or even maybe been stuck in the middle here and there, and you're like, oh God.
I've thrilled some people a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks.
And I'm not that big, you know what I mean? I'm big, but I'm not, God damn, I'm like, but I know I'm a big man. But I'm not the only one out there. There's a bunch of them corn fed out there bigger than me. So, I think people that think they're entitled to stuff or that somebody needs to pay for them to enjoy their life are fucked. fucked up and they should go play a game and go hide and fuck themselves, because this is America. If you don't earn it, you earn for it. We don't care. We don't care if you want it. If you want it bad enough, you got the right to get out there and get it. If not, then I don't know what to tell you. People that sit at home, get on your computer, make a buck. There's always ways to make a buck if you're truly not lazy, and get inspired. Work for yourself. You don't need to work for somebody to make $1.
Well, and that's the whole point of this is wanting other people to cave and compromise and even compensate for you. Again, she doesn't look like she's that old. She looks maybe mid 30s, maybe yeah,
late
early
20s,
maybe yeah. She's already wearing an oxygen mask in a plane because apparently she struggled on the little free ride she got from the security to the terminal, struggling to get on the plane. And she's probably the same type of person speculating that would like universal health care because later, maybe in God, at the way she looks, I'm sorry, in about probably 10 years, she's going to need free medical because she's already on.
I guarantee she was that person riding around on that little cart thing, the little buggy and Walmart, that they ride around on that had like the Coca-Cola and, in the front of it. And she was wearing the mask on her face during the Rona and sitting there yelling at people who weren't because they were risking her health or something. It's like, sure. I think the last thing you should be worried about is my mask.
There's 7 frozen pizzas in the basket.
Right. 15, 3 liters of Coke or whatever.
And that's a day's supply.
How do you know what I have in my shopping cart every day? No, I have sworn to myself though. Yeah, if I ever even get anything like that, because I'm 205 pounds, 6 foot 205. That I think anyone would say is fine. That is acceptable. That is not ridiculous. If I get anything even close to anything like that, long before, I literally will do whatever it takes to not be like that. That's just a personal, like I refuse.
Well, when you get old and you lose your knees and your shoulders and stuff like that, and you can cook like a black Southern woman, and you eat good food all the time, you will gain weight if you're not able to exercise. And that's been my problem when, in my 40s and 50s, I wore size 34s. Now I'm wearing size 48s and 50s, so.
Oh yeah, but she, like you just said, she's maybe late 20s. And she's way above that. She's at like 70,
Oh yeah, that's big. That was 6X. I wear a 3 or a 4X, but my God, that's a lot of girl right there. In the spotlight would have loved that one, boy. Sell your spot.
You want to see those rolls again in the swimsuit she was wearing?
I could go. No, I don't care.
Article.
Not really. I can look at Ava. I can look at that thing Joe was squeezing on, but
All right. Well, before we get banned for being fat phobics here, I think we've agreed that it's a.
We're gonna say bless her heart and say prayers for her.
That's what we do. I hope her the best, and I hope she can just get healthy because she just doesn't seem healthy. If you're wearing an oxygen mask on a plane like that, just sitting there.
But as far as us feeling guilty for her not fitting in a seat and her wanting to be compensated for her obesity on the shoulders of somebody else, I'm out on that. In my opinion.
I think the only prayer that she would want you to say for her is grace.
Amen. All men dig in. Keep it short. Keep it short.
No. She's like the 5-year-old at Thanksgiving. She's like the 5-year-old at Thanksgiving. The grandparents are saying things or grace and like watching to make sure the kid isn't like fucking trying to sneak food.
She said, let's say grace, and start eating, you know.
Right.
Oh,
With everything, like when you hear parents, you know, complain about stuff, you know, well, what are they, you know, putting in the? Well, you don't have to feed them. My daughter's 6. She's never had a Coke or soda her whole life. She drinks water. That's it. Like you don't have to feed your kids this. You know, you don't complain about all these fat kids. Well, you know, stop getting.
It's a treat. It's not a way of life.
You don't let them drink a 2-liter of Pepsi every day. That's the whole point of being a parent, you know.
Right. I don't understand. You see some of these kids, you know, wandering around and they're like, you know, 9, 10 years old and they, you know, way more than you do as a grown adult. It's like, man, you're doomed.
I mean, and if you are even a larger child, when you turn 18, 17, 18 even, you've got to start really making life decisions and choices. And you can still do those things, but then you go, okay, well, I've got to fucking exercise because I was at 17, I was 265. My ass got down to 200 pounds, like on my own, because I took an initiative. Because I was like, yeah, this is not going well. That's all someone has to do is they have to own the choices they make.
I was a fat kid until I started working, and then I trimmed down. I was solid. I didn't have no fat on me, but I worked my ass off ranching and farming and fishing. You know what I mean? So you get where you can't work. You get where you can't work and exercise. It'll creep up on you quick before you know it.
Yeah, and in all fairness, too, we don't know her backstory, so we don't know. I don't know if she has an actual disability that creates her, you know, stops her from being able to do these things. So, like Mr. Douglas said, he was ranching and farming. I was going to go in the military, so before I joined the military, I lost that weight by myself, and then I've fluctuated since then. So I don't know if she does have a medical issue that is prohibiting her, but if it's just I have a slow metabolism. Like then that's bullshit. Like I don't want to hear it. Your excuses, you know.
Well, there's no medical condition that could make you be that big.
Right.
Well, no, at some point, it is a personal choice. You just accept it.
Right.
I mean, some people. Yeah, sorry, LW. Go.
No, I was just going to say to his point. Like, I mean, yeah, of course there could be like medical conditions, like you know, for her that are keeping her from being mobile and doing things. But there is something. I mean, she can eat chicken and rice instead of you know. A 12-pack of tacos from Taco Bell as well.
Instead of an acre of grass every day.
Shit, is Taco Bell still open right now? That sounds really good right now. Not 12 of them, but like a couple soft tacos. Fuck, God damn it, LW.
I can eat a 12-pack of tacos from Taco Bell. Supreme.
So disgusting.
Damn, it sounds so good right now.
I hate Taco Bell. I can't believe y'all even bring Taco Bell up. I live in the land of real tacos,
when the real restaurants are closed and you're desperate or on a road trip, you just need something fast. Taco Bell fucking suffice.
Oh, it'll suffice, but yeah. I don't know, man. I live in the land of real tacos, so I don't ever eat there. So
me too. Thank God.
Yeah, Mr. Duggar. I was like, we're down here in the South. I was like, what the hell?
I live in New Mexico, man. So you know, we had serious tacos and chilies. There's burritos and burrito fatten your ass up too.
I got to end this segment. My ass is getting hungry right now. Speaking of fatphobia and food now and tacos, I'm like, okay, we're gonna move on from this because otherwise I'm going to literally start trying to think about looking up Taco Bell stuff.